Hispanic Bar Association was founded almost 25 years ago now in response to what we perceive to be a need within our community. And unfortunately, that need has not been satisfied, and by virtue of the Hispanic Bar Association, it's provided a platform where people can speak to those deficiencies, and we speak to them intelligently. Nobody's looking for free lunches, nobody's looking for handouts. We're looking for an opportunity to compete in the bigger legal theater in the state of Texas, and that's always been the objective.
I think there's a lot of things that a Hisba president can promote. One of them, at least that's on my radar, is I think the organization needs to have an initiative to at least advocate that the Houston federal judiciary have a Hispanic federal judge. On our federal bench, we have approximately 10 to 15 federal judges, but we don't have one Hispanic judge.
Initially, the Hispanic Bar Association was comprised of, like any great organization, a core group of members. You know, you have, what do they say, give a busy person something to do and they'll do it. Well, you know, we had probably a dozen people that really rolled their sleeves up and went at it. But trust me when I tell you that creating opportunities for Hispanic lawyers is a big deal in and of itself, because it's not enough that we get Hispanic people into law school or into law firms, but we need to get people to become senior partners in those law firms, people that establish policy, people that can provide direction within the community. Law firms, in my opinion, historically have been a huge reservoir of intellectual capital.
Can you imagine this? Born in Galveston, Island, grew up in a small community, Hitchcock, Texas. I get to go to the White House because my friend, Judge Al Gonzalez, who grew up in similar humble beginnings right up there in Humble, is the White House counsel.
I've had many opportunities given to me by George W. Bush, and when I was appointed to the Texas Supreme Court and Governor Bush made the announcement, he was asked by a reporter, did it make a difference that Al Gonzalez is Hispanic? And Governor Bush was very honest in saying, of course it made a difference. I believe diversity in the legal profession, diversity on the bench is very, very important. Obviously, I selected Al primarily because of his judgment and because of his capabilities and because of his background. But yes, absolutely, he felt it was important.
The original mission was a big mission in and of itself, and that is that it focused on creating opportunities within the legal profession for Hispanic lawyers. And that meant not only getting into law schools, but getting into the law firms and getting into the judiciary, and those that were interested in academia, well, we did that too. We wanted to focus on promoting lawyers, promoting opportunities for lawyers, and I think that was the original mission of the Hispanic Bar Association.
The Hispanic Bar Association has always had a strong interest in developing and promoting their attorneys. So when I joined, and I knew nobody here, quite frankly, in Houston, you know, they really gave me an opportunity to develop, you know, professionally. They were heavily invested in awarding scholarships, mentoring programs, but at the same time, they were just as vested in promoting and retaining leaders.
So I think an obstacle that Hisba always has on its radar is to at least take steps and engage in programs in which we can reach out to young Hispanic professionals, college students, and law students to make sure that we educate them and give them the opportunity to, you know, become professionals in our legal world.
Part of it is that you do want members of our community to be full-fledged members, you know, participating in every way possible. And part of that means breaking down barriers.
It had been 130 years since the existence of the Houston Bar Association that never had a Hispanic as president. And to see these barriers drop one by one over time just shows the evolution of the community in our country and the face of Texas and the face of America. What also makes me so proud is to see the next generation of Hispanic bar leaders come into fruition and to be involved and take leadership of this very special organization. Just carrying the torch and taking it to yet the next level.
When I was a boy, I grew up north of Houston in Humble, Texas. And I grew up in a house that my dad built with my uncles, 7 brothers and sisters. We lived in a 2-bedroom house with no hot running water. And every morning, my mom would wake me up and I'd have breakfast with my father. We'd always have the same thing, eggs and tortillas. And as we were eating breakfast, my mom would always be making the same lunch for my dad, beans and tortillas. The same thing. This was our daily routine. When I still worked in the White House, my mom came to visit me in Washington. And my dad had died my last year in law school. But my mom and I, we toured the monuments, we walked the museums, just like all the other tourists. But I also took her into the Oval Office. I wanted her to see what I had accomplished because of her sacrifices and the sacrifices of my father. And on the last day of her visit to Washington, she was up to make breakfast for me, just like she had done every morning for my father. But I wasn't putting on a hard hat and reporting to a construction site like my dad had. I had my suit on, and I was reporting to advise the most powerful person in the world. Now, she never dreamed of this miracle that I would take her from the cotton fields to the White House. I'm the son of a Mexican carpenter and cotton picker who had a second-grade education, and I became the Attorney General of the United States. We live in a country where dreams still come true. And for that and many other reasons, as far as I'm concerned, America is worth fighting for. America is worth dying for. I believe in America.
A great idea is nothing without great people to support it. And while this idea was offered up by me, there were a lot of wonderful people that came around it and recognized the need for it. And frankly, it turned into something that I'd never seen before in my life.
I feel as if that the Hispanic Bar Association did a fantastic job in terms of giving me the opportunities and providing the opportunities to develop leadership skills, to network with the judiciary here in Harris County, throughout the state, and through other attorneys here in the city of Houston. And I gained a lot of that, which then put me in the position of being able to help other people. So it was a privilege. It was a lot of work. The current president, Daniel Ramirez, can tell you that. It's an awful lot of work, and a day doesn't go by where you don't have to make a decision for the organization. But at the same time, it's a gift.
If you just look at the general percentage of Hispanic attorneys in the state of Texas, I want to say that percentage of Hispanic attorneys in comparison to the whole bar is about 6%. And that percentage of Hispanic attorneys obviously does not represent what the total population of Hispanics are in the state of Texas. So I think for an organization like Hisba, it's very important to continue mentoring and providing scholarships to help students get into the legal field if they so desire.
The final note I would say about the Hispanic Bar Association is how grateful I am to the organization and to its members for giving me the opportunity to lead it as president, particularly at a very early stage when we were really maybe not as sure about what we were doing as the present leadership is today. I continue to believe that the Hispanic Bar Association is very important in the development of young lawyers here, Hispanic lawyers here in Houston, and I applaud the work of the organization. I support it wholeheartedly, and I have nothing but the best hope for continued success in the future.
I'm proud of what the Hispanic Bar Association has accomplished over the last 25 years, and we've come together as a professional community, and we've shared our hopes and dreams and aspirations with each other, and we've given each other the help that we can, and we've done wonderful things in the name of friendship, but also within the name of the profession. For that, I think that we can be proud. It's been a wonderful evolution, and but we still have many miles before we sleep, I think.